Honorable Men Discord, body cams in Walgreens. Let's talk about it.
How you see yourself is how you perceived. I see a man strong, gifted, head strapping, never down on his knees, begging. Gotta make a way, even in my darkest hour. Say the odds against me was new. I would never cower.
As always, welcome back to another episode. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So in the intro, you heard me correctly. Walgreens has body cams for the employees. At least it's a test run for now. But let's watch this news report from Channel 12 News, and then we'll talk about it further.
Back, we're used to seeing police officers with body cameras, but what about employees at Walgreens? New this morning, News 12's Shakti Dennis reports on a new pilot program that Walgreens says will help everyone keep safe.
Next time you shop at Walgreens, you may notice something different on employees' uniforms. A body-worn camera. The company confirms it's rolling out a pilot program at select stores. A spokesperson said body cameras can help de-escalate conflicts and create a safer environment for everyone.
Now, some of the employees I spoke to briefly said that it's to help protect against unruly customers and that wearing the cameras is optional.
New Yorkers we spoke to are split on the topic.
I don't have a problem with it.
With so much that goes in Brooklyn and a lot of the public that feel so entitled to attack employees and stuff.
Some say it's a step too far.
Any surveillance is bad surveillance, and I don't think we need more.
I don't think it's necessary. Why do you need that information?
Could it be a privacy thing? Yes. Do I feel like it's a smart tactic to possibly keep themselves safe and employed? Also, yes.
The debate over surveillance and privacy is also playing out at City Hall. On Monday, the City Council held a hearing focused on stores like Wegmans that use biometric technology to track customers.
What happens if that data is breached? Many of us know the feeling of discovering our credit card information has been stolen, but you can cancel a credit card. You cannot cancel your face.
As for Walgreens, the company says it understands the importance of customer privacy and has safeguards in place to follow the law, but it did not share any details on those safeguards or how the footage could be used. They also haven't released a list of the selected stores. In Williamsburg, Shakti Dennis, News 12.
First and foremost, privacy is over with. All right. It's over with. Privacy is over with. If you live in a major city, particularly those that are watching this episode that live in New York, privacy is over with. The amount of cameras to catch your cars. Now, it's a gift and a curse. It's a gift and a curse to have as many cameras as they have, because it can help, those who need the camera footage. If something happens to one of your personal property, you're going to want cameras to be able to help you find that property, whether it be a vehicle. But listen, privacy is over. We could just all forget about it. We could just forget about it. All right. Crime is still happening at an alarming rate, even with the cameras. For those of you that live in New York, particularly the Bronx, they're stripping people's cars down to the rotors. Okay. And they wouldn't care if a street camera caught them or not. They're wearing shiesty mask. And I have an idea as to why Walgreens has decided to try this test run, this initiative, because there was a news report. Sadly, I thought that the incident took place in a Walgreens. It actually took place in a CVS. And I believe that's part of the motivation why similar chains, there's Walgreens, there's CVS. I want to say there's Rite Aid, unless they close those down. But pharmacies in general, trust me, the corporate offices pay attention to these events that are taking place across the country. And they're trying to... Walgreens, I would say, is trying to stay ahead of it by being proactive. I'm going to assume that's why they're doing this test run. But then, in all honesty, I don't know whether that things have been taking place at Walgreens that hasn't been necessarily televised on the magnitude of what happened in CVS. But I'm going to get to that CVS report, and then we're going to talk more about the body cam. But listen, privacy is over with. I mean, from the time we decided to have camera phones with phones that can record videos and high quality pictures, it's over with. Because what's the difference with a person walking into Walgreens with their cell phone and recording staff, harassing staff because they feel as though the staff... Now, I'm not saying all the staff at these different chains are necessarily professional. We all have come across unprofessional employees, but again, I ask you, what's the difference with someone coming in with their phone, and if they have a disagreement with an employee, taking their phone out and recording the employee? So what, is the employee not allowed to record the person? This is one of those things where you have to really sit down and explore different scenarios and see if it makes sense to have a body cam. But I don't see anything wrong with it. There's cameras inside the Walgreens in itself. So what's the difference with the cameras up in the ceiling and the camera being directly on the employee? Now, you have to wonder if that particular Walgreens, or those particular Walgreens that they're putting these cameras in, what has happened at those particular stores that has made corporate say, you know what, let's try this body cam thing out. I could only imagine employees are being harassed, disrespected, and where's their safety net? You can't always just go by the cameras that's up on the ceiling and on the walls. You can't just go by that. But let me just go into this other news clip with this unfortunate incident that took place at a CVS, and I could only assume this particular incident and many others is what is influencing Walgreens to test out that initiative with the body cam. So let's get into this.
Have you guys seen this case? I mean, what is going on in Long Island, New York lately? 24-year-old Aditson Steen from West Babylon, New York, was tragically killed on Christmas Day, December 25th, 2025, while at work at CVS. Aditson was said to have been working at the CVS on 20 East Montauk Highway on Christmas evening. Though he was not even originally scheduled to work that night, he was actually covering a shift for a coworker. Around 6:50 p.m., 911 was contacted by someone inside of the store who said that the cashier had just been attacked by someone with a knife. When authorities arrived on scene, that is when they found Aditson suffering from a puncture wound to his chest. He was taken to the Good Samaritan Hospital Medical Center, where he was ultimately pronounced dead from his injury. Upon looking at surveillance footage from the store and speaking to eyewitnesses, authorities were able to identify and then arrest 43-year-old John Palacio of Lindenhurst. Prosecutors say that this was a dispute over money. They say that he admitted that he was motivated by debt and that he demanded money from inside of the store, and when Aditson refused to give him money, that is when he attacked him. John has since been charged with second-degree murder in connection with his death. Aditson was said to have been employed at this specific CVS store for almost a year and was remembered by his colleagues as being a hard worker and very dedicated to his job. Family members and regular customers at this specific CVS location described him as always being willing to help others. A GoFundMe page has been set up to support Aditson's family during this time. As you can see, they are very close to their goal, so if you are able to donate and would like to, you can do that. You can search this GoFundMe up or click the link in my bio. If convicted, John Palacio faces between 25 years to life in prison for Aditson's murder. What do you guys think is an appropriate sentence for him?
Now, I'm just going to be clear on this. This particular incident, I don't think a body camera would have changed this from taking place. This guy who committed this heinous act he was mentally unstable, and this was about the fact that the employee from CVS denied him what he wanted, which was the cash. He decided not to give it to him, which caused the not saying that guy was justified in doing what he did. Obviously, stealing from a store is not is not a reason to take someone's life. Attempting to steal from the store is not a reason to take someone's life. But this event, unfortunately, I think could have been avoided had the employee just gave him whatever was in his register, because he feared for his life. But I'm pretty sure he didn't know the guy was going to go the distance and take a knife out. But sticking on the topic, I want to say this is one of probably many reasons why Walgreens now, even though this took place at CVS, Walgreens now is implementing this body cam, to see whether or not this deters people from attacking employees. I guess this is Walgreens' way of showing the employees, look, we care about your well-being, and we'll go the distance as to arming you with body cams to make you feel a little bit safer, especially in these rough neighborhoods. But what's your thoughts on all of this? Listen, again, we have cell phones, we have Meta glasses, and all these other devices that I probably failed to mention. I don't see anything wrong with Walgreens giving their employees body cams, especially if these employees are working in neighborhoods where they're getting harassed and terrorized. For all, whatever works for the employees. If the employees are all for it, I'm for it also. I can't speak on something that doesn't affect me directly. I can't speak on something that only those that work at those particular Walgreens could attest to. So that's my thoughts on this. Regardless on how we feel about body cams, it's going to continue to be something that possibly will be implemented in different businesses. I also know I came across a video, and I can't think of the actual business, but they're doing face recognition before they let people in. I think it's either like TJ Maxx or Marshalls, something like that. They're testing that out before you could even enter. They're snapping a picture. It may even be BJ's, but don't quote me on that. But they're snapping pictures of your face. This way, if you go inside and you're thinking about stealing, they don't have to look too far for who you are. So cameras are gonna. This is one of many things that they're gonna be putting in these stores to crack down on disruptive people, violent people, and possible thieves. So what's your thoughts on this? What's your thoughts on Walgreens? And do you think there's a better way to go about protecting employees? Or do you think this is a step in the right direction? But that's all I have on this episode. As always, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, stay honorable.